Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Godwin and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we discuss philosophy. If you have not subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe and let us learn together. In the previous discussion, we explained Plato's famous theory of forms. The idea that the physical world is only a shadow of a higher, perfect reality. According to Plato, the things we see around us, chairs, trees, animals, even human beings, are imperfect copies of perfect. Imperfect copies of perfect, eternal forms that exist in a separate realm. But Plato's greatest student, Aristotle, strongly disagreed with this theory. Aristotle respected Plato deeply, but he believed that the theory of forms had serious philosophical problems. In this video, we will clearly and carefully examine Aristotle's critiques of Plato's theory of forms, and we will see why Aristotle believed that forms cannot exist separately from the physical world. Before we look at Plato's criticism, we need to briefly recall what Plato actually taught. Plato believed that reality has two levels: the world of forms, which he believed that they are eternal, perfect, unchanging reality. Then secondly, the physical world, which he believes that they are imperfect copies of these forms, that is, of the world of forms. For example, there is a perfect form of beauty, a perfect form of justice, a perfect form of human being. The things we see in the physical world are only imperfect reflections of this or those perfect forms that Plato talked about. Plato believed that true knowledge is knowledge of these forms, that is, of the forms, the world of forms he talked about. This idea is famously illustrated in Allegory of the Cave, where ordinary people only see shadows of reality for Plato. Aristotle thought Plato made a serious mistake. He argued that forms cannot exist separately from things. Instead, Aristotle believed that the form of a thing exists within the thing itself, not in a separate world. For Aristotle, reality is not divided into two worlds. There is only one world, the world we experience. And in this world, every object is made of matter and form together. This idea is known as heliomorphism. Aristotle's first criticism concerns the separation of forms from object. Plato said there is a form of a horse somewhere in a higher realm. But Aristotle asked a simple question: if the form of horse exists separately, how does it explain real horses? Okay? In other words, how can something that exists outside the physical world explain the things inside the physical world? For Aristotle, explanation must come from within the object, not from something completely separate. Therefore, separating forms from things does not actually explain anything. One of Aristotle's most famous criticisms is known as the third man argument. The third man argument. The problem works like this. Plato says a group of humans are similar because they share form. But Aristotle asks, if humans and the form of humans are both similar, then there must be another form that explains that similarity. That would create humans, the form of human, another form that explains their similarity, and this process would continue forever. This creates an infinite regress, which Aristotle believed is philosophically unacceptable. Another problem Aristotle saw that forms cannot explain change. Plato believed that forms are eternal, perfect, unchanging, but the world we live in is full of change and movement. Things grow, things decay, things come into existence, things pass away. Aristotle argued that if forms never change, they cannot explain the changing world we experience. Instead, Aristotle proposed a different explanation using his theory of four causes. The four causes. These four causes explain why things exist and why they change. There are the material cause, the formal cause, efficient cause, and the final cause. Through these causes, Aristotle believed we can fully explain reality without separating forms from. Aristotle also believed that Plato's form duplicates reality unnecessarily. For every object in the world, Plato creates another object in the realm of forms. For example, a real chair. This real chair that we are seeing, Plato has created the form of that chair in the world of form. Aristotle believed this doubles reality without explaining anything new. Instead of solving philosophical problems, the theory of forms multiplies them. Instead of Plato's two-world theory, Aristotle proposed a different understanding of reality. He argued that every object is made of matter. What is matter? Matter is what something is made of. What something is made of. Secondly, form. That is, things of the world are made of matter and form, according to Aristotle. Now, what is form? Form is the structure or essence of the thing. What makes a thing what it is. For example, a statue is made of bronze. That is the matter. The bronze now is the matter. But its shape is its form. That is the bronze we are seeing. Is the form. But the form does not exist in another world. It exists within the object itself. This means that we do not need a separate realm of forms to explain reality. To summarize, Aristotle raised several major criticisms against Plato's theory of forms. 1. Forms cannot exist separately from objects. Secondly, the separation of forms does not exist or does not explain reality. Thirdly, the theory leads to the third man infinite regress. Fourth, forms cannot explain change. Then fifth, the theory duplicates reality unnecessarily. If you found this explanation helpful, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others who may want to understand philosophy clearly. Thanks, and please subscribe to my channel. I am Godwin. See you in the next video. Thank you.